many suppliers, many
And we're
banks,
back.
and many logistics providers across the board.
Who are we?
And much
Brent
as
Leary.
Larry described, to
I
solve this
believe
problem,
I'm Paul Greenberg.
we aren't solving
Why
it
am I
at
whispering?
Oracle alone.
I have no
We're
idea.
solving it in combination.
Anyway, we're the
with our
CRM
partners.
players, and
Much
we
like
are
Larry and
fresh
Safra
back
and
from
Clay
doing
talked
our
about,
own show,
the
which
way
you
we
will
do
see
this
because
because all of our
it was
partners
recorded
are all in
kind
the
of
cloud
live
as well.
in front of a studio audience.
Starting
You know? Pretty
with
cool.
JP Morgan.
You'll like
cool.
it. We think you
So
do.
JP
Except
Morgan provides
there are some
payment services,
disturbing
native
things that
banking
took place
services,
on set.
corporate card
And
services,
it's well worth you spending the
automated
time to
financing,
wait
and
till
soon to
that
be
happens.
much, much
You know how you
more
always see on
based on
TikTok?
feedback that
Wait to
all of
the
you
end.
give to us.
So on
Integrated
that one,
to the
wait
ERP.
to the end when you
Yeah.
see our stuff.
Second,
But in the
with
meantime, we are
FedEx.
checking out
FedEx
the
providing logistics
apps
services
keynote
and
here
shipping,
at CloudWorld, and
logistics
Steve Miranda
operations.
is on stage. So
But enough of me trying to
going
talk
to check
about
him
it
out
alone.
and see what he has to say,
I'm
and
pleased to welcome on
we'll
stage
talk about it
Takis
as he
Giorgio
talks.
Kopoulos,
And we may
who's
have,
the global head of
the spirit
payments
moves us,
at
we'll have
JP
some
Morgan.
guests.
And let's watch a short video about JP Morgan first.
This is money. Money is a catalyst for change. This is change. Change that moves everyone and every business
I think the
forward.
video is a lot lower than
Building
his.
blocks to blockchain.
And if there's
Power
anybody
these
out there
companies
checking this out,
to
let us
accept,
know. Leave a
hold,
comment.
and move
And
money.
if you leave a comment, you send
This
an
is
email.
currency that can't be
Keep us
hacked.
abreast of the Yankees game. If there's any
Yeah.
scores,
New economies. This is a single payment.
I want you to know how much I appreciate you as
This is
audiences.
businesses ordering.
I am
Someone else's
literally
banking.
going to be
And this is
missing
all
part of
powered
the
by the
Yankees
highest level of
ALCS
security.
game. So
This is to buy
I
and sell
can be with
things.
Brent and
without ever
broadcast
touching
to you. I
anything.
want you to know that.
we're doing this
This
all
is
for
what a
you.
face
That's
looks
right,
like.
all two
You
of you.
just paid for this
That's three.
Oh,
this.
3.
and this.
3.
This
Wow.
is your
We're
card.
cooking with gas here,
This is
folks.
turning it into your wallet.
Yeah, well, if we
Pay
are,
for
we
your
better
cappuccino
call in the fire marshal.
with phone.
That will not be good here.
This is growing your business
Anyway,
from the smallest.
looking forward to seeing. We got a little later start because we had to huff it over,
This is
but
all the business of change.
we're looking forward to seeing what
Around
Steve
the
has to
world.
say.
Out of this
So-
world.
If we're dead silent the whole
things
time,
like
we'll
this.
just enjoy the video.
Than this. This is every
I have
achievement
to
there
say,
is
the
to look
video,
back
the
on.
production level quality
Again,
across the board
This
is
is
great.
nothing to look forward to.
Friggin' charts, man. It's just like so high.
We need to do a shout out
JP Morgan
to Kim
Payments.
Guillaume while
That's
we're thinking
progress.
about it
That's a,
for hooking us up with this really great studio setup.
Well, you know, literally, let's even expand it to what we both know. She's really becoming the goddess of AR. Right?
Hey,
She's getting
welcome.
really
Good
good.
to see you.
at
Thank
this.
you.
She is a wonderful person. She has been enormously attentive to all
Takis,
the
thanks for
analysts
joining us here,
under her-
especially to launch this
under her- in her
partnership we're so
domain.
excited about.
We affectionately
Clearly,
refer
everybody
to her
knows,
as
familiar with JP
boss.
Morgan, but maybe you can give them
We
some
think she's the
inside
boss.
information as
And
a
we're-
little bit
we're
more about
older
what do you
bosses
do, what is your
ourselves.
role, and
Well,
the size
whenever
and
the
scope of
godfather
your
of
business.
CRM calls you the
So
goddess
first of all,
that they
thank you
are.
very
Yeah,
much for
think of
inviting
that.
me.
Yeah.
I knew about this event. I never imagined this.
All right, so we
It's by far the largest
check out
event
some of
that
this.
I've gone through
This guy's the head
post-COVID.
of
It's
global
amazing,
finance
and
for JP Morgan.
congratulations,
Yeah,
you guys, for
I'm gonna go ask
for
him
doing
what he
something like
swears.
that.
Give him what
I
he
don't need
does.
to talk.
Let me see what he gets swear from me. Oh, a global
I've been
payment
told it
thing?
takes thousands of people to plan and execute that. So I don't need to talk about JP Morgan, the largest retail bank in the world in the US at Chase, the largest wholesale bank in the world at JP Morgan. But our business, JP Morgan Payments, represents about 10% of the bank in terms of revenues, profits, and employees. We have about 25,000 people. But it is a business that operates at a tremendous global scale. My two favorite stats, we move $10 trillion every day, which is a
What?
little bit more than $10
What
million
number did you just
per
say?
second.
$10 trillion.
That's
And
right.
at
Buddy
peak
said.
times, somewhere around Thanksgiving, we move 5,500 transactions
$10
per
trillion
second
a
as
day.
people shop for their
5,500 transactions a
Thanksgiving
second.
and Christmas shopping. We operate in every country, every currency, every payment method. We serve the vast majority
No, I
of global
guess just
Fortune
on a
500
pure,
companies, as well as hundreds of thousands
How
of
does a company
mid-sized
get
and small
that
businesses
big
in the US.
do
And our
that
goal
much?
is to always look for how can we make
Well,
our
there's this
customer
guy
lives
named
easier?
JP Morgan
How
back
can
in
we
the early
bring
80s.
innovation and solutions for our
He's
customers.
pretty good with money.
So that last part is really key, as you thought that's a theme of this whole conference. But before we get that, I think the audience would be thrilled to understand a lot of uncertainty, a lot of economic uncertainty.
Do you think Steve
From
will
your
ask him if he's
perspective
a
and a unique
Patriots
perspective,
fan?
so much
Yeah,
transactions
guessing no.
throughput. What are top of mind issues in your business today?
Sure. So for us, there are always kind of three things that we're thinking about. The first one is keeping our customers safe, whether it is fraud, whether it is cybersecurity, whether it is geopolitical risks, whether it is hurricanes, whether it is COVID, whether it's people working from home or from wherever else. We need to continue to process that 10 trillion a day. It is about a
10
third
trillion.
of money flow in the global economy for whatever reason. Keeping our customers safe, we do that at a 7 sigma accuracy. You can never be satisfied. Even at 7 sigma, it means that sometimes things happen, but we continue to strive to make that number better. The second area is around risk management. Our clients, especially the larger ones, operate in multiple parts of the world. They manage complex supply chains, multiple bank accounts, multiple currencies, multiple FX exposures, and they need ways to have real-time visibility and the ability to forecast and understand their cash positions and manage those and move their supply chains when they need to build resiliency or they want to move, they have to move from one part of the
actually,
world
that
to
was
another very, very
even though
quickly.
it's,
So
I think,
helping them
probably
do that
obvious
is the
in
second one.
retrospect, but
And then the third
it was,
one is delivering
sort of,
solutions.
interesting
Whether it
the way
is
he
how
described
our
what it took
clients
to keep
connect to
customers
us,
safe.
whether it is the
He
API
basically
connectivity or the ERP
categorically
connectivity, which we're going to talk about,
identified
whether it
about,
is
I don't know,
industry
7 or 8
vertical
different
solutions, and if
ways
any of you
to
are
keep
here
a
in Vegas
customer
next
safe.
week, we're
Risk
going to
management,
showcase at
health,
Money 2020
disaster,
our vision for connected car
cyber
and for
attacks. I mean,
bringing
it was
together
also
online
kind of
and
scary that
real
all of
life
them are
gaming.
possible.
So
I'm
all of
still
those
hung up
things,
on the
and
10
obviously
trillion
it's a
transactions
big space
a
of
day.
innovation, and it's something that
How do you
we
come up
know
with
we
numbers
cannot
like
do
that?
on our own.
It's
And the power of
amazing.
innovation is
Those
really in the
scales are
network
just-
that you can
I don't
create,
even know
and that's why we're
how
super
to
excited
think
to
about
work with a
I
company
really
of the
don't.
size and scale of Oracle.
And the problem is
And it's just
So
one
now let's
company.
drill
the
in a little
idea.
bit to what we're doing together and how we're going to make things better
We get
for our
impressed when we hear
customers. So
billions of transactions
basically,
a
every
day.
one of you who
And
has
this
an
is
ERP
10
system
trillion.
of any type,
I'll take a
any
couple
system,
$100,000.
be Oracle or not, you
I'm
connect it to a
impressed
bank
with
account
me
to do
being
the
able to
payment.
do 3.
And this oftentimes takes 4 to 6 weeks, even in the cloud, because you are going from our ERP system, you're calling your bank, you're establishing a secure connection, you're doing essentially an IT project. So can you take us through, with our combined efforts now doing this together, how are we approaching it differently and what will the customers see?
So let me just start with the story, right? So yesterday night I got my iPhone 14 Pro Plus or whatever it is. I changed iPhones every like 2 or 3 years. So I got it. You put the new iPhone next to the old iPhone. You say yes a couple of times, wait a couple of hours, it's all done, right? Why is it all done? Well, interoperability between the phones and all of the information is on the cloud. Now juxtapose that with a large company that operates with multiple banks or is in the process of transitioning between a bank and another one, or an ERP system moving to the cloud, etc. And you get a great JP Morgan banker or salesperson to tell you how amazing we are and how much money you're going to save in real-time payment systems and blockchain and coins and all of that.
Still
And the
big
CFO
audience
gets
out there.
excited and the treasury team starts thinking about, oh my God, I need to go and update every bank account, every information, every who is authorized signatory in each one of my accounts, et cetera, et cetera. 4 weeks is a good case. We've also seen, months. So what we are trying to do together with Oracle is really at scale solve that problem. So the most difficult part of dealing with JP Morgan is pronouncing my last name if you have to, right? So Fusion and JP Morgan payments will work as one. You upgrade the version of Fusion, JP Morgan accounts get updated automatically.
Wow.
You change from one bank to JP Morgan, your information gets updated automatically. So we're hoping it's going to be like changing iPhones.
Well, so when we reached out to
great way to explain
Caucus's
it.
team, they said, well, wait a minute, all these customers who've been calling us as they move to the cloud and we've doing this 4-week process, we get to automate that? And we're like, yeah, that's what we want to do. It was like, sign us up. So now, next favorite thing, once we get it connected though, so that's just a kind of a logistics, it's 4 to 6 weeks, but we want to explore some transactions. One of the transactions, not a fan favorite, especially all of you who are not used to traveling, you're going to have to go back and do expense reports. So we think with this integration now, we have that financing capability, we have integration directly to JP Morgan and your APIs, again, our cloud to your cloud. How do you envision, how are we going to change expense reporting?
So first of all, what we really liked about working with Oracle is that we speak the same language. We speak the language of cloud, of APIs, and of continued innovation. So I think what we are doing with cards is hopefully going to be step one of many more ideas that our teams are going to think about, or even more better, we are going to hear from our clients and go out and deliver. So I thought about that as I was flying here to Vegas. So I'm not a very well-organized person. I'm sure other people are better. But I remember when I was an associate, I started my career at McKinsey.
Kind of explaining it as kind
like
of
every consultant, I would travel Monday through Thursday, come back Friday, and spend half my day doing expense reports.
Thousands of
and looking for my
employees
receipts, some in my wallet, some in my pocket.
JP Morgan had.
Fast forward 25 years later, so the good news, I have an assistant.
I don't know.
And the second is some of the receipts now come via email. But the underlying issue is the same. So I went for my first post-COVID trip to Asia,
But you know what?
came back, gave my
It makes
assistant the
sense for a
receipts. She
partnership
calls me, she
because,
says they're in Japanese.
you know,
I said,
JP Morgan at its heart is
I
still
have no
not
idea what these receipts
100% a technology company.
Right.
So when you think about
what
10,000,
we are hoping
10
to do
trillion
is make this thing
transactions,
really a thing
you
of the
need some
past.
serious tech.
The work that we are doing together with Oracle, in my example, I went to Japan, I went to a restaurant or taxi or whatever this thing was.
So look, let me
I get a notification on my phone. I speak to the
SAP
virtual
has
assistant
SAP
on the
Concur.
wallet of my
That
phone.
is an
I say
expense
what the
report app that
transaction
works
is.
universally
If
with
your
anything
company
you
is a
wanna
bank,
use it
then
with,
you may
even
need to
individual.
upload the receipts to the app. You are done.
Oracle talking about
Then
doing
Oracle
something
takes on the
which
back
is-
end all of that
it just strikes
information.
me
Your
odd,
expense report is magically
necessarily
filed. You are
badly,
done.
but
Your finance
odd
team
that
is happy.
Oracle and
Procurement
JP
team is
Morgan are
happy.
combining to
Your
do
control
something
team
about
is happy because they're sure you
expense
didn't get a
reporting.
dinner that's too
And I'm
expensive.
thinking, well, what is JP
I'm
Morgan's
really
role
looking
in
forward
that?
to this one.
Maybe
So you
get Oracle's
teased a
role in it,
little
create
bit
a
going forward, but let me just
Concur-like
recap so everyone's
application
clear.
that
So
handles it.
now
I don't get
all of your
JP Morgan's
customers,
role in that.
you don't have to do anything.
Sounds like
As part of your
there's a payoff
update, you're going to
from
have an
their
icon
perspective
that says
to
JP
have a
Morgan.
partnership with a
Click on
company
it.
that can
Obviously, give
do
your
it.
account information. You're automatically
Beyond just
connected.
a
Our
vendor
cloud, their
relationship.
cloud
Yeah.
for banking.
I mean, that would be
Use their
great.
credit
I mean, the
card,
scale that these
just like
guys
you
are
get your
talking
alerts
at,
on your phone
they
today
can't just
from Amex or any
think
other
about
card, JP
regular
Morgan
vendor
card.
technology partners.
You get it directly from JP Morgan, but it's not just JP Morgan. It is
There we go.
directly integrated to Fusion automatically.
still
You
not
don't have to
telling
enter anything. It's there for your expense
It may
reporting.
be JP
Now,
Morgan
on a
expense
go-forward
reporting
basis,
he's
something I know
talking
you and
about.
I are quite excited about in the
Everything
audience.
we just
How might
kind
we
of
work
said,
together for more sophisticated transactions or
like for
payments
JP
like
Morgan
financing and
customers,
automate that
the
further?
things that look-
So, as I
don't
said,
know.
the good
That
news
one-
is we are speaking the
that
same
one,
language.
we got
And,
it.
Well,
I think
maybe
you know, as
maybe JP
we were
Morgan
saying
will
before,
end
we
up
both started because we got a call from
selling
our
some of
respective
these things.
CEOs
I don't know.
saying,
Well, no,
you
it-
guys
I-
figure
look,
out a way to work together.
we see
And,
the
you know,
trend
we-
in a lot of things.
but
that you
in
and
the
I-
process, as I said, we
we
realize
met
that
with some
we
of
do
the
see
companies
the
that are
world in
doing
the
it,
same
where
way,
companies
and we do
like
see
a JP
innovation
Morgan
at the
are
core of what
becoming
we do.
apps
And I think
companies.
the
What do we
most
call them?
exciting
Products
thing for me
companies
is that
becoming
between
service
Oracle and
companies
JP
and
Morgan,
service
we have two
companies becoming
companies with
products.
tremendous
So that
client
it's a
networks.
possible
And therefore, think
outcome
about what
of
you can
this
do when
thing,
you
but
bring those networks
It
together
just the
to
scale that they're
simplify
talking about
Well,
is
that's the
supplier
thing.
information, vendor information, financing
If I don't work for
information,
JP Morgan,
payment
can I do
information,
the
cash flow
expense reporting with
forecasting,
this
real-time
based on
visibility
what these
in
two
real currency, metaverse
are
currency, or
talking
anything else that may come
But
our
if we
way.
at the end of this,
So I'm
and
very
today we
excited.
announced
We've proved
That's
the
right.
concept. We've proved the first
Oracle,
two use cases, which are very, very
expense,
exciting for
Oracle
us.
Morgan
And I think you
expense
will
report.
continue to see from
OM.
us
Or then they'll
new and
announce a
interesting
merger between
ideas
JP Morgan and
on the
Oracle.
payment and financing side. And
Well,
please bring us
here
your
I am,
ideas,
Oracle, JP
bring us your
Morgan,
pain points, and I
doing
promise
50
on
trillion
behalf of both of
transactions
us,
a minute.
we'll do our best to go out and deliver.
you need some
I think
serious
Takis
tech
and I have
though,
a
to
special
pull it off.
relationship
the
because
scale
right
of
after the
this
phone
stuff
call
is
between
mind-boggling.
Larry Ellison and Jamie
I don't
Dimon,
pretend to
I
even
immediately got a call
understand it
from
at this
Mr.
level.
Ellison, and I'm sure you immediately got a call from Mr. Dimon, multiple exactly. So there was panic set in on two offices on two coasts going forward. So Takis, thank you very much. We very much look forward to the partnership, and most importantly, we look forward for you, our customers, getting more automation. And then as you start to receive that automation, giving us feedback because we're both excited to deliver more and more services to you to make B2B commerce fully automated. Takis, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I like
Thank
this
you.
format. Everybody is very casual and comfortable. They're not selling.
And
Nobody's
by the way,
selling.
I think
They're
that's
telling
just getting
stories.
started. We want to continue. Hopefully, people see the
To be fair,
theme
Steve
of the
did a little
conference,
selling
which
right
is
there at the very end,
extending to
talking
have
to the customer.
complete
looked
business
out,
automation.
talked, I mean,
Extending that
That was
the
like,
only
through
thing.
Oracle as
Steve
well
is
as
one of my
partners,
favorite humans at this
extending
company.
that
He's
through
a wonderful person. He's
multi-cloud
also one of the
in a
most
modern
capable
way that
executives I've
frankly
ever
all
known.
of you should expect it to work.
That one was
And as we
scripted.
roll it
It's
out
really
again,
Maybe that
automatically
last
to all of
part.
our
I think
customers,
no,
just
most
for the
most of it
update,
wasn't.
at
It was
no
great
fee,
conversation.
so you all get it.
There's just
Start
little
using
added-
it
it's
and
basically
give
a
us
conversation
feedback
with
and
an
we're gonna do it.
add
So we're
at
very
the
quite
end.
Yeah.
excited about it. So let me shift gears now a little bit to what about today and what have we been up to and what are some highlights that you all should be aware of in Fusion applications. And we're going to structure this as we're quite proud in that we believe we provide everything you need to run your business and run it nimbly to be able to react to those changes I talked about
John
before.
Ferrara.
We deliver innovation that
John
matters not only to you for your bottom line,
He's running it nimbly.
but also matters in
Announcing
terms of
the
corporate
acquisition of
citizenship,
Nimble.
both in what we provide you and how we operate ourselves. And 100% committed to your success, customer focused, and I'm going to have some customers come on stage to give some examples of that. What do I mean by all of these sections? First of all, everything you need. So we believe we have the most complete portfolio from ERP, including supply chain and consolidations, HCM, including payroll, benefits, talent management, recruiting, supply chain management and manufacturing, both process and discrete across multiple industries, and customer experience from
He actually
sales,
said that kind of carefully when he
service,
said we
and
believe
marketing.
we have the most.
But we
complete
allow you to
That's
adopt
I like
that
that
suite
instead of,
to the extent you
Yeah.
want,
you know,
at the
was
pace you
careful.
want, and
It
which
doesn't mean
pillars
they
you
actually
want
do, but
each and every time.
Oracle
And as we
thinks
go
they
through
do.
this, I'll give you several
And that's
then they
examples.
have reason to
But
believe
in
it.
Well,
addition
no,
to that,
I will tell you this.
We are the only
It's
application
a-
vendor that is also in the
I'm
technology
one of these
business.
people who doesn't believe.
Now,
the
everybody
only
here is
is
on
a
the,
real
probably
word
from the
in tech
application
world.
side.
We're the only.
Why do you
But I
care
will
that we
tell
are in
you,
the technology
they have
business?
one of the
Well,
great
over the last
end-to-end
18 months, and
portfolios
in the
I've
next
ever
3
seen.
months,
Yeah.
And
we will have
they take it
migrated
to a level
all of our SaaS
because they are
customers.
so
Again, just as part of the normal update
data
to our
historical
OCI
company.
January
They
2.
take it to a level that's
infrastructure.
deeper level than.
Again, what does that
probably any
mean? Why do
company
I
I've
care?
seen.
Well,
You've
now
all
he's talking about
received
just a
brand
pure
new data
tech
center,
layer.
brand new machine, Exadatas, brand new version of the database,
Look at the
brand new version of the
availability.
operating system,
99.
brand new network, brand
Now
new
here,
network
okay.
security,
This
brand new
goes to
block
what
storage.
Joel
I can
was
go
talking
on and
to
on and
us
on as
about on
part of your
design.
update.
Look at the background of that. That's
So
data.
anything that used to be
Right,
known
and
as
it's
technical
clearly
debt,
data.
when you used to manage your own applications,
And
oh,
all of a sudden, everything
application's
clicks
getting
into
old, I got
place
old
with how
hardware, application's getting
Redwood's
old, I
being
got to update the
applied
network.
on
I've got a
last
security
year.
issue, I've got to update this
Really
operating system, I
important.
got to have
Again,
a
that
patch to
goes
the
to the heart
database.
of the
I wonder how
All of
many
it
people
is
actually
done
pick up
and
on
done
that.
automatically
you know,
and done
judging from
continuously for
Hillel
all
and
of our
Jenny,
customers.
not
And the
a lot of people
results
will
give you
overtly pick up
much
on
more
it,
secure
but it works
infrastructure.
subliminally, which
It's
is how a lot
tremendously
of
helped
these
our
designers think. I
availability.
know the principles
And
they're
on
working off of,
average,
'cause I
because
studied
of new
those.
networking,
I
new
have
storage,
no
new
design
computers,
skills,
our
but
customers
I know
have
the
improved their performance by
I know the
30%
concepts,
on the
and
clicks into
principles,
the user
and some of the
interface. But because we're in
playbook.
the infrastructure business as
And
well, all of you as our
the
application customers
expectation is
get this as
people
normal
will
course of action.
effectively
As our technology
imply
improves,
data
you inherit it
internally,
automatically,
and
you see those
meaning they don't say,
benefits.
"Oh, that's data." But
To
they'll
show you a
kind of
little
know it.
bit of what it looks like, let's roll a short video of our brand new Redwood user interface.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Speaking of data. Oh, Brent, it's on your shirt.
Oh, this is my shirt?
Yeah, it's the one that has the new data interface.
See it? They can see it.
See, that's it.
Interesting.
This one's the,
Never had. I had dirt on my shirt. I never had data on my shirt.
you have a
before.
data interface on your shirt. You can do. It's a shirt, so you can only do 100,000 transactions a minute on it.
Beads of sweat.
I mean, look at this. This is like, look at the visuals even on this. This is Jenny Lance and Hillel Kuverman's work, and of course, as they would want to say, their team.
Right, their
Okay,
team.
we'll include their team in there, and that, yeah,
This is really smooth.
yes, I think that's my shirt. That one.
It's looking great. Now, I talked about what we have in the completeness suite, but some of you may be sitting there saying, yes, but ERP, I got it. You have GL, APAR. Yes, I got HR, but I need these specialty applications. I need something that just to extend something that Oracle's not going to build and never going to build. How do I do that? How do I do it in a comprehensive way? Well, again, today we're launching our applications platform, which is really a combination of best-in-class tools, both Visual Builder for professional developers,
Just like
as
the
well
low
as
code. I was gonna say,
Apex
is
for
there a version of
low-code
no
tool
code? Yeah.
for you to
that's
develop
their
a front
low-code
end for
part.
applications that we don't provide. In addition to that, we provide you our Redwood templates. So all of the beautiful look and
That's
feel
the
that you saw
no-code part.
behind me, page templates, components,
That's
to allow you to design those extension applications and have it
See, now
look
that's
exactly like the Fusion apps,
Yeah,
because
I
they
don't
in
think
fact are the
any other
exact
vendor is
tools
doing
No, I mean,
and
Infor
components that
kind
we
of
use
did
to
a
build our
little of that back in the
applications.
very
So you
early
basically
days when they
extend it, you
first
have to do no extra
were
work
doing
to
their
make it look
design
and
work,
feel
but nobody else
identical
since
in
has
an
even
open
come
way,
close. And
both
this is
high code
complete, I
and
know.
low code. And in addition to that, we provide you the APIs to the applications
Gotta tell
so
you,
that you can
the
integrate
live
and
stream
have a
has been
full
great on
end-to-end
today. I
data
haven't
flow.
seen any.
So
it's
the
beautiful.
largest and most complete suite available, now extending that to partners like JP Morgan and FedEx, and allowing you the application platform to further extend for that last
But you
mile
know
set
the
of
other side of
applications.
this, which is
The
so
most
brilliant
complete
about
suite
Oracle
for
right now
everything you
on that
need.
particular move.
So who is taking
Use that
advantage of
template.
this?
You provide it to
And
your partners.
I wish
you
I
provide
could
it to
do
your
this like
your
justice, and I know
customers,
there'd be some of you
and that
what
ties
about
you
me, so I'm
even
just going to read
deeper
a
into the
few of these
Oracle
because
ecosystem.
we are
Because
just
they're literally using
proud
the
of
same
you,
design
our
principles that they're
customers, and
using.
what
Yeah.
you have
And yet at the
accomplished.
same time, it
In
improves the
healthcare,
effectiveness
we
and the
have Cleveland
efficiency
Clinic, a
of the
personal favorite of mine. I'm the
tools you're
executive sponsor.
using
I'm on a
from
call.
Oracle
I used to be on a
because
call weekly with them.
the
Now
interfaces
they're
are
live and
common and
rolling, so
familiar.
it's not as often. Mount
And yet
Sinai,
also
Cedar,
a pleasure to
Mount Sinai,
use,
Cedar
which is
Sinai,
the other
Kaiser
side.
Permanente has been a
Deepens
great
the
partner of
level of
ours in
relationship.
HCM and running payroll in a very
Excellent.
sophisticated, very large environment. Humana, I can go on and on. In financial services, when I mentioned before that the majority, it's really a who's who. JP Morgan Chase, I always mentioned, we'll talk to them in just a bit. Citi, Bank of America, American
Yeah,
Express,
you just talked to
UBS,
JP.
Vanguard, the largest mutual fund in the
JP
world,
Morgan Chase.
HSBC,
Chase.
PNC
Yeah,
Bank,
that's the other-
Westpac,
another
Corey
part
Bank,
of
who we were
JP
proud to
Morgan.
have here as a guest speaking on our behalf during this conference. Again, I can go on and on in those customers. What we
How
call
long has
digital
he been with
economy
Oracle?
customers. So you might think, well, those are
29
big
years, 28
customers.
years.
That's what Oracle's had. They
Last
used
I
to have
saw, which
Oracle,
I
they
think was,
moved
this is
over.
why I say that about a year
Newer
ago, I
companies
think I
who've
saw
gone
somebody
really
said 27
started
years.
very, very
Well, this
recently
must be
relative
28.
to Oracle
I
and
wish
others.
we had our
Again, a who's
market
who,
intelligence
Zoom,
chief with
Meta,
us, but
Lyft,
Rebecca had to go
Airbnb,
home
Uber,
today.
Alibaba, Priceline, Twitter, Snap. Again, apologize for leaving people out, but I think you get the
Digital
idea.
economy
In
customers.
terms of
they
hospitality and
noticed they had,
logistics, I mentioned that we have
Six Flags.
logistics customers.
I don't know if they call that
I think you
digital
guys were the
economy
logistics
No,
customer.
column.
they're just
Oh, that's
DHL,
hospitality.
UPS,
You skipped.
FedEx. We have the largest ports in the world, including DP World, Port of Singapore, are our
Wow.
customers. Most of the
That's
hotels
gotta be
that
your
you've been
supply
in
chain
this week,
stuff.
Caesars, MGM Resorts, all run Oracle applications. In smaller industries, including gaming,
Who was that NBA
groceries.
player
If you
got
bought
banned at Six
groceries
Flags?
anytime in the United States
In the
or in the
last couple
UK,
days.
chances are
Some
those
NBA
people
player
were
got
paid
banned for
by
life from
Oracle
Six Flags.
HCM
Life?
and
Yeah.
did close their
He did
books
something
in
stupid
Oracle
there. I
ERP.
forget what it was.
Tesco, Sainsbury's, the Cooperative in the UK, Albertsons, Kroger, amongst
Wow.
others in the US.
Wendy
So
Dixon.
think about that on your trip here. If you stayed in a hotel, if you packed a snack with groceries, or maybe ate at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Wendy's, I would leave out the healthcare customers, but hopefully none of you went to a
So
hospital.
if you're eating that stuff,
Every
you're gonna
step
need to
along
talk
the
about your
way,
healthcare
Hey, there's
customers.
you
Chipotle.
worked with your peers who are running our applications. And it is all of
If
you
they
who
should
drive
give
those
you
last
30%
mile
discount at
requirements and
Chipotle
who
if you
drive
attended
us
Oracle
have
CloudWorld.
hundreds of features in every product area every quarter. But enough of me talking about the customers or customer success. It's my pleasure to welcome Javier Echevarria, who is the Chief Financial Officer of Heathrow Airport. Javier.
Heathrow. Holy cow.
Great to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Echave. I would say Echave.
So Javier, I mean, Heathrow Airport probably needs no introduction, and people have in fact, many people probably flew through Heathrow to get here. But maybe you give your background in the organization and some statistics that people may not be aware of with Heathrow.
Great. Well, it's fantastic to be here. And I can tell you, Steve, you have been today much more successful filling this place than myself, trying to fill terminals over the last 2 years. So next time, rather than sitting here, come to London, please. So obviously, Heathrow is the only hub airport in the largest aviation market in the world. But more importantly, we are the gateway of the UK to global growth. UK, huge economy, fifth
I
largest
got to
economy
say,
of
it's
the world.
actually one of the airports I
And
like.
we are
Oh,
the
yeah?
largest
I've only
port
been there
as well. So
twice.
40%
I
of the
genuinely like it.
exports by value come out of Heathrow.
Like, what's your
Typically
favorite
in the belly
airport?
of the
Of
aircraft.
all airports?
So
Yeah.
salmon,
Wow, that is a
diamonds,
big,
even
big
cars traveling just few
See,
inches
when it comes to
below your
baggage handling,
bottoms.
it's Heathrow without a doubt.
So next time,
By far the
watch
best.
it out. So obviously, operationally,
Ryan's
we
here. Wanna get him?
operate
Yeah.
we operate the two
Come on over,
busiest
sir.
runways in the world. We partner with 80 airlines.
He
And
must have
Heathrow
gotten
itself is a
back.
small city, 400
Well,
companies
okay.
working for a single purpose,
Actually,
which is giving
well,
passengers the best airport service in the world.
Gotta figure
Yeah,
it
let's
out.
And
do that. Do
it's
that.
a complex city,
This is
and we
good.
will talk about
July
all the things that we are doing. But I think enough for the
We're trying to
introduction.
figure out how to get
Well,
the
I
mic.
think it's an interesting way to give people perspective. It really is like a small city and a complicated small city. So, the last 2 years have been very,
Why don't
very
we do
interesting.
this?
What has they been like
Why don't
for
he sit-
you
why don't,
from the
he
Heathrow
sit here?
perspective and the business
Okay,
perspective?
No, let's-
Can you give us some of the
like you
challenges
set up
and
yesterday.
what you've
I'll set it
experienced?
up.
Well, I think we have got few challenges
Brian,
over the last
come
few
on.
years, but probably one of the challenges that we had just before the pandemic was getting ready to grow. So one of our successes is that by becoming so popular by passengers, actually we became very congested over the last few decades. Aviation capacity in the southeast of England is very full, and after many decades of consultation, finally we got approval by the government
Get mic-
to expand
mic
as
on
an
and we're all
airport.
set to roll.
Obviously, huge program,
So while
20
you're
billion
getting set
pounds
up,
infrastructure
we
program
have Brian
that
Summer
was
here, and
going
Brian,
to enable us
for
to
those
really
of you who
double the
don't
size
know
of the
him,
organization
well, actually, I
in
don't think
just
there's
10
anybody who
years.
doesn't know him.
So the challenge was grow 2x
I will
in 10
suffice to
years.
say,
But then
Brian
suddenly
is
the pandemic hit,
leading
and
enterprise
obviously
analyst,
98% of
one of the
our revenue
decades of
collapsed
experience,
literally overnight.
incredibly
Very
deep
challenging
knowledge,
for
and
me.
at the same
Even
time,
my kids
one
were
of the world's
joking
most
with me and say, well,
remarkable
Daddy, if your job
storytellers.
is about counting
So,
money,
Brian,
what the hell are you doing
I
these
don't
days?
know,
There's no money to count
hey,
for.
Brent, it's gone out of
But
focus.
actually, it has been through
Gone
the
out of
effort of
focus.
everyone
The
across the
camera.
airport, we have managed
I
to
don't know.
survive. One
But
of the
it-
things
Can
that
you
we
mess with it?
didn't stop
But I've never looked
was
better.
the process of transformation that we started
So
just
while
before
we're,
the pandemic.
just
Well,
use the
so that,
focus,
it's kind of
look back
amazing. You
at
went
the
from,
focus,
you have to
the
double
focus
very
thing.
quickly to
This is
all
what
of a sudden
we
you have
don't
to
mind
operate
this
on
thing.
2% of what you were used to operating on.
Yeah.
Now,
Staying
you
completely
picked
out of
Oracle,
focus.
obviously, before the pandemic for the
That's
objective.
the,
Maybe give the
that's the
audience a little
Zoom.
bit of
There you
why
go.
you
Okay,
picked
got it.
Oracle and what you expected to use us for, and then
We're
how
good.
that has
No,
changed.
it looks good.
Well, I think many people believe
Both.
that
Yeah, we're good.
Heathrow is an airport,
Brian,
but actually we are not. We are a
Regardless of the
service
specific
company.
thing, what's your overall
And service is
thinking on
provided
what you've seen
by
so
people
far on these
for people. So
applications?
at the end of the day, getting assets to
Well, I
talk to
think
each
we're-
other is the easiest
We're in
part
an
of what we
interesting
do.
time in the
It's
software
about getting
market
people
because the
using
usual
data and
conferences,
making better
vendors
decisions on the
kind
back
of
of the
saved
data,
up a
which
year,
really
18 months
makes
worth
our
of
challenge even more
goodness that
fun.
they're going to roll into a product
So I was
and then
telling that
dropped it all on
we're
you like
full
a-
for
with a
many
dump
years,
truck
and actually
at
when
the
you have
user
been
conference.
full for
And,
many years,
I
you
know
haven't
you're thinking like,
exercised
where
enough
does he
the
come up
muscle
with this
of
language?
I
But,
do.
growth.
I always
And this
think
is
that.
where Oracle came in.
but what we're hearing
Having
is
better data, better
these
tools
guys
to
are
our own people
slipstreaming
have
in a whole
allow
bunch of
us
new
to
advanced
really
technologies
starting
underneath
to
a whole
experiment
pile
what a
of
growth
product.
organization does.
Their
If I
the
can give
real
you just two
focus is
examples,
on extending
power of
the
data in the
end-to-end
hands of our
process
people
kind of
are really
knowledge.
allowing
And
people
they
in
want
the
to
front
drop
line
all
to
those
reach
advanced
better
technologies,
what
all the
customers
artificial
are expecting.
intelligence, the machine learning,
But the
the
second,
big
even
data,
more
everything
critical
else, they're
decision,
throwing it all
as
in
an
there.
airport,
And they're not
I'm
going to
passionate
dump it
about
all at
infrastructure.
once
What we
anymore.
do is
So,
connecting people
to
and
some
businesses.
extent,
And
some
by
people
doing
might
that,
be listening
we
to this and
enable
be
11
feeling a little bit
out of the
underwhelmed because we're not
17
hearing
United
the,
Nations
like
Sustainable
super
Development
colossal
Goals.
giant,
But at the
news.
same time, one of
But
the
on
things
the
that
other hand, I think
science
you're
has
missing the bigger
demonstrated over
point,
the last few
realizing that
years
structurally
is
the
that our
market has
activity,
changed.
together with airlines, are
And
contributing
how
to
you
global
digest,
warmth.
consume, and everything
So
else
the challenge for us
changed.
is
And the
how we are
implications are
going
going to be
protect
profound on all
the
your
benefits
business
of aviation
processes
in a
all the
world
time
free of
going
carbon.
forward.
So
And that
you
requires
see,
us to not only
you
optimize
see
against a
Oracle
currency,
itself,
sterling
or the
pounds,
company itself,
but
not
also
just
to
the general,
optimize against a
let's say, the
carbon-adjusted
competitive
sterling
market.
pounds. And this is
Do
what
you
Oracle
see
is
the-
becoming
do you
extremely
see
helpful.
these as
Okay, so just going to recap
let's
the
get
challenges.
this into the,
You got to
let's
get the
this into
carbon
the flow
neutral.
because we need
in
to
the
get it
aviation
into the flow,
industry,
or
you have
these
to
are
deal with the
genuine,
pound issue,
valuable,
which anybody who's
and
followed news
I
lately,
realize
that's a
it'll be
challenge.
uneven here, but
You have to
genuine,
double
valuable, and
in
useful
size, and then you had to react to
advances
this up
that
and down
you're able
98%.
to add to
Sounds like an
the
easy
flow
job.
as
Okay.
we see by
So So beyond that,
They're quite
what have you accomplished so
real
far
kinds
through
of
the
things.
implementation?
And you're
And
gonna wanna-
we're extremely
and in
proud
fact,
to
I
be
had a
associated with you and all part of it.
Mr.
But maybe share with the
Miranda
audience.
here,
So,
in the hall.
what are the
I know
big
he's
benefits that you've achieved so
talking
far?
on the other screen
Well, I
as
think
we
what we
speak.
have implemented in terms of
Stephen,
scope, we are
I asked him a
running
question.
Fusion
You know, when people
applications
first bought
on
packages,
top of the
they
Oracle
bought them
Cloud
because they were trying to
infrastructure.
achieve
So
some
we have
immediate
delivered financials, we
process
have delivered
efficiencies
human
and
capital
improved
management,
effectiveness. Then as time
supply
went
chain
on,
management,
they realized
but
in
also
computing power
BRM.
increased, they were able to
So we
extend
have
that to the entirety of
not
the
full,
organization.
but a
So
big
we
of the
had
whole
shared
lot.
service organizations crop up.
So
we got more
I mentioned
productivity
earlier, we are a
savings and
complex city.
efficiencies.
We have
Now
many
you've got
different
like guys
people
like
running
Oracle
in
who
different
want to
payrolls.
extend
We
to
have to
all
read
the
and connect
far
millions
ends of what
of assets to really
constitutes
make
process,
the
and
magic
that
of
creates
Hydro
another round
happening
of new
every day.
efficiencies
And that
that you get a
requires
hold of.
data.
So my question
Data at
to
the right
Steve
time, in the right hands.
is I'm
to really
thinking
unlock
like
passenger
5
satisfaction.
chess moves ahead
That's
here.
great.
Is
And then
what
how
happens
do
to
you
shared
see,
service organizations? Because if you
well,
take
maybe two-part
if
question.
all of this stuff goes in the
How did you
cloud,
view the
all of
Oracle
the smart technology
relationship,
comes
or
in
how
there
did you
and
view
takes care of
Oracle
everything
before
for
the
you
cloud journey?
automatically through
And
RPA
then
and other
what do you
technologies.
see our relationship
Then all
now?
that's left,
I guess I'd like three
You
questions.
need
And
some
how do you see it going
key
forward?
experts who can
Well, I
handle
think
the
question number
anomalous
one,
transactions that pop
I think we
up.
have been in a
And is that what shared service
partnership
becomes?
with
It's
Oracle
just
for
a
many, many
collection
years.
of
As in any
a few,
partnership, there
a
has
few
been
smart
moments
experts
of
who handle
love,
the odd
moments
ends
of
stuff
crisis.
instead of the
So
big
you have to
efficiency
get
of
ready
Obviously,
for
a
these
collection
things.
of
And one of the things that we learn
Right,
is that
Right.
as opposed to a
delivering on the cloud
giant
is a very,
factory
very
that just
different thing.
crunched transactions.
Okay, well, actually, that goes
My
to one of the
first
customer, early
implementation
customer
of
stories, because
Oracle,
Brett
I
and I
think we
kind of
were a different
marveling over
organization.
the
Oracle
fact
was
that
different, Hydro was
JP
different,
Morgan,
and we were
JP Morgan
co-creating
was handling
probably
was it
not the
10
right thing to
trillion
really unlock
transactions a
customers.
year
And
or
I
something like
love
that's the
playing
number they
tennis, and one of
use,
the things I
which is,
like playing
I don't
tennis
even know how to
is that you
process
really
that
play
number
better when you
in
have a
terms
great
of
partner.
transactions.
And we
again, I
are
don't
playing better
deal
every
with that
day.
typically in what we're doing. We're operating
I
on
think
a
in
more
terms of
right-brain
how do I
focus. So
see
Well, that kind of reminds me.
the
As I was having
partnership
a
going
conversation
forward, to help
one
me
night,
explaining that,
eons ago, I was helping
I
a
have
neighbor rebuild a car engine.
Sammy
and
helping me, bringing a little
he
token
posed a
of
question
gratitude
to me.
to
He goes,
Steve.
"You want to know how you drive a person crazy?" And I
So,
go, "How's
this
that?"
is
Well,
on
you
the
give him $1
script.
billion,
Completely
and you
out
tell
of
him
the
he has
script.
to
This
spend
is
it
the
all, and then I
magic
try
of the
30
life.
days. Now I know today $1 billion doesn't go
So
as far as
you
it
mentioned
used to,
earlier,
but,
we
you
are
know,
living in a
I'm
world
still
that
waiting for that
is changing,
decacorn
is
kind of
volatile, is
valuation
difficult.
for my own business.
We are facing a very complex economic,
But-
social,
But the point,
political
still, you're talking
environment.
about trillions.
And it's tough. I think you just
you are
need
talking
30
about a
seconds of
number
app news to
that
get
is
fully
almost
depressed.
beyond the ability of a normal mind.
But the reality
to
is,
get
one of the
their
things I
head around.
learned many,
We
many
can all
years
put it in
ago
scientific
is that you cannot
notation,
control events
but it's still
outside
kind of an
your
abstract
company.
term
But
for
what
us.
you
And
can
yeah, the
control
volumes are just
is how you
absolutely
choose to
astounding.
react
I don't
to
even
those
understand
events.
how you deal with.
Is
I
in
don't want
that
to call it complexity because that
microsecond
word
that
gets
you
used
choose your
like
attitude, you choose your
overused in our
decision,
universe. I mean, it is complex.
so you can
but
become the
I think by
alchemist,
now we all kind of get that.
making huge
But
challenges,
how you
feeling
deal
like
with just the
fantastic
sheer
opportunities.
volume and number
So
as
that's
they're
really the
happening,
power of every
and
single
you're somehow
organization.
you're processing all
So
of that so that
when
it
I
all
was
works
young,
because ultimately
younger,
that
I would
individual,
say,
that
I was
10
fascinated
trillion
by
transaction
superheroes. I
is
read the
each one of
comics,
them
I
is
liked all of
applied to
them.
something
But
specific.
my favorite by
Right?
far
It goes
was this little
somewhere
fellow,
from, it comes from
not
somewhere,
so
it
little,
goes to something
Spider-Man.
or someone.
And behind this
I mean,
childish
there's an-
comic, one of
and
the
yet
things
you're
I
effectively
learned was
taking
probably
this
one of the most
mass. It's like, for
profound
example,
learnings in
your
business for me.
usual analogy.
He used to say that
you're-
with great
you're-
power comes great
Let's put it this
responsibility.
way. If I'm
At
seeing a
Hydro, we
tsunami
have
rush at me,
huge
I'm not
responsibility.
getting
We
a
are the
glass.
national
I don't think
gateway
the right
of
idea
the
is get a
UK. We
glass
have
outside
to
and figure
measure our
which part of
service
the tsunami
every
is
single
great.
day
Right. I
against
gotta start thinking in
passengers.
different
We have to
terms, and
decarbonize
I don't
aviation.
know
We
how
have
to
to
think
protect
about
the
it,
planet.
honestly.
And more importantly, we have to transform
And
the
yet,
lives
I
of
would
our
tell
own
you that,
employees every single day. We have to make them
what you're
feeling
describing
fulfilled and growing a
creates
career
a
rather
forest
than
for the
just having
trees
a job.
problem in IT.
That's the
Okay.
responsibility that
And
we have.
That
But
the
we
real
cannot do
reason
this alone.
companies want to take
And I think
advantage
that
of
this
these
is where
advanced
Oracle
technologies is they need
comes in.
tools that
You
basically
are
help them
helping
tell
us
them
to unlock the power
what it is
of
I I don't need to worry.
supercharging
Okay.
our own powers.
And
So
like,
with
for
great
example,
power comes great responsibility.
you know,
For this
I
partnership
know a
to
bunch of
continue
the analysts
working,
here,
what I
they know
need from
that,
you is
I
to
think they
keep
take
helping
perverse
us,
pleasure in
charging our
tracking
powers
where I
every single
fly
day.
and all the
And on the
problems
back of that, we
after.
will be able to deliver
So,
responsibly
What I
our
really
vision
wish
to
is
people
that
on planet.
Fantastic.
airlines
Fantastic.
actually
Thank you.
thought
Thank you very
about
much. Thank you.
not so much
Thank you, Steve.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
every little like tweet or whatever, but they ought to notice things like, okay, clearly Brian's having a tough day here today, and
Carmack, I
while
think you're
he's
on mute.
stuck sitting on a plane,
I just
that's
want
not
everybody
going
comfortable. I
anywhere.
don't think I've
Maybe
had an
we
hour
ought to
without
be
somebody saying
actually
that
trying
in
to
the
find
last
him an
3 years. So
alternative routing
get
so
yourself
he
off
can
mute. We'll
get
be okay.
home
Everybody
to
comfortable
Nevada,
still?
whatever.
Okay.
And instead,
All
they're
right, let's
focused
segue
on
over
stuff
into
like,
some more details. I mentioned earlier briefly,
let's
we
just send them a bunch
deliver
of pointless
hundreds of
messages
features
that
every quarter to our
irritate and
customers.
piss
We've
them
just
off.
launched
Yeah.
22
Anyway, but back to the
as
volumes.
per normal every quarter. 3
this
months
is
from
what's
now, it'll be
really behind a lot of the
23A.
Internet
3 months from there, it'll be
4.0, or
23B.
the factory of the
Then you guys
future,
get the rhythm. And part of
the
that are
industrial
some strategic
IoT
solutions.
and,
Let me give you a few details of
manufacturing
a couple.
4.0 kind of world.
First off,
Where
Larry talked
we've
at
got
length
sensors
about healthcare
everywhere,
and
throwing
really
off all this
talk about two
information,
dimensions
but
of
very
healthcare.
little of it
One
actually
is
is
taking the
anything we
Cerner
care about.
applications
It's
and
a lot of
extending that from
sensors
things like
reporting status as normal.
trials
So
and other areas. But
we
the
have to think
second
about
key
that in
part was
terms of how that
extending
applies
Cerner
to,
and connecting
you
it
know, the old
to
school
the
kind of
ERP
business
applications.
transactions,
And
whether
we're
they're
adding
finance,
functionality
accounting,
in Fusion
CRM, whatever.
really in
There's
two
a
elements.
bunch of noise in the channel,
One
and
is in
that's
supply
what people
chain
aren't
management.
comfortable with
And
yet.
essentially, the way
Because
it
they
works
haven't thought
today
about
is you have a
noise
hospital
in
system.
an accounting
In the
perspective.
hospital, they
How about that?
schedule
that?
appointments, you have
That's a really
surgeries,
good-
you
In
have
fact,
things that
I
happen
gave a
as all of us, we
keynote
go
a
to the
couple
hospital
years
or
ago
friends
just
or
before
family
the
go to the
pandemic
hospital.
on
Unfortunately,
big data
hospitals
and
are
accounting.
far from
And
working
I'll tell you, the people in that
like a
audience
manufacturing
thought I
plant
was
or
talking
like
about something
any
that
other
was making
process
them
where
as
you need
uncomfortable as,
goods
you
and
and me wearing a
equipment
cheap
to deliver
suit.
those services.
They were really bothered.
So
by
what
how
gets
they-
used
you
and
know,
what gets
why? Because
scheduled
big data
has
is not
very little
it's
to
not
no connection
perfect
and
from
certainly
the
no
accounting
product connection
perspective.
to the
It's
ERP
got,
system.
like I said,
What
it's
we
got
provide
noise.
also
It's got
inventory
issues
systems, supply
with
chain
it.
planning systems,
And,
etc.
you know,
So
I'm
it's a
telling
very
like,
manual,
I can tell you
laborious
what much better way
process.
to predict your
And
company's
unfortunately and
financial
sadly, all of
numbers.
us, regardless of where you live in
If
the
you're
world,
like the hospitality
pay for this.
industry, I want to see
either
what's
pay for it in
changing
dollars and
on
cents through
your
inefficiencies, or
TripAdvisor
pay for it on
scores
things
and
like,
ratings.
I'm
Because
sorry,
a
we had to
one-star
reschedule
change
your
can
surgery, or I'm sorry, we had to
trigger a
reschedule your appointment
12.5% movement in
because
your
goods or
revenue
services
numbers.
aren't there provided.
Okay. And they're
So
like
quite
having
simplistically, we are
apoplexy
building
over
a
stats like that
connection
because,
between Cerner
well,
and
it's
what
not
actually
audited
happens in the
or it's-
hospital
or whatever.
and
I don't
Fusion
care. As a
supply
business
chain,
person, I don't care
from
about that.
procurement,
I care about what is it
inventory
telling me?
management,
And
supply
that's
chain
the real
planning.
business value
And we're
there,
building
not
that in an open
does it
way
pass
so that
some
even if you're
gap or
using Cerner,
IFRS or whatever kind
Epic,
of standard.
or any other
Anyway,
hospital
sorry,
provider
Brian.
system,
that's
you get that
important.
benefit
Look,
of
I have one last
end-to-end
question, though. And this,
supply chain planning
so
to
when was
avoid
the
the
last time you
costly
came
areas we have
to,
today. Once
Dental
again,
still
common
open? When
theme,
was the
taking
last
a
time you came?
semi-automated,
Prior to
silo semi-automated
Uh,
process,
3-4 years ago?
extending that both through
It
our
would have had-
investments with Cerner
No,
and then
it probably would have been like
partners or open areas, other
2019
hospital
or
systems.
whenever the last big one they had.
Very,
you know.
very
So what
similar.
have you seen
In that same surgery, in that
Oracle's
same
good or bad,
appointment,
in Oracle's
you also need
evolution
people,
from then
caregivers,
and now?
therapists, doctors, nurses.
I think
Those
probably
people
what's
have
interesting to me
schedules.
is
They take vacations. They have
done a
regulations.
deal
You're not
with
allowed to
buy
work more than certain
micros,
hours a
remember
week
them?
Yeah,
for your own
okay.
protection. They have
And
union
I thought, well,
regulations
that's
where they have to
interesting
work
because
certain
there's
areas
a
or not certain
lot of
areas.
big data coming
They have
off
qualifications
of,
where they have to be
those,
certified
point
on
of sale
different
devices.
procedures at certain
And
times
I
to be
was
qualified
wondering,
to
are
do
they
it.
going to be tying that
Once
in
again,
with,
unfortunately
like their
today,
CRM
two
solutions?
completely
That was my
siloed
first thought.
systems. What actually happens in the
that
hospital,
first thought
and then the
was
HCM system.
way too,
and then unfortunately for any of you who are caregivers or who know
uninformed.
caregivers,
It would have been the first thought
we
of
also
a
pay their
lesser grade
payroll
analyst. How
out of
about that?
HCM.
You would have,
Wow.
you know where
You
I'm
have
going
what
because
they
you're
do
not
in
one of
time
those.
incorrect.
The
The payroll's incorrect, which means
No, but
you
where-
have
where I'm
doctors
going
and
with this
nurses
is,
instead of caring for patients
But since then, that
spending
really was
time
that was more than just
correcting
like a retail
payroll
or a hardware.
and giving
play.
I
It
didn't work
was the
those hours,
beginning
I worked
of
these
a
hours.
huge,
See, it says right here,
shift
I
of
was in
focus,
surgery.
for them to
And we
go
have that
into,
information in the
other
hospital
sectors like
system in
Cerner,
Cerner,
healthcare,
and we're
so
building out
forth.
capabilities to connect it
Yeah,
end to
and I know
end.
they like talking about
Cerner
the
to
ecosystem deal, but
HCM.
that's not going to be necessarily
Very
the
strategic
end of it either.
solutions
Right.
for healthcare, and
Absolutely
just
agree.
one example
And
of
I
or
think
another
we're-
example of
we're
extending
seeing
what
them
we
move
have
once
for
they get
fully
the
automated
ecosystem
processes.
and all these other pieces
That's one
in there.
big area.
Then you're going to
The
see
second
them
big
shift
area,
to
and this
being
is probably
not
the
a
area where we
database
have the
company,
most
not a
innovation
gas company.
quarter after
But they are
quarter
going
after
to be,
quarter is in our HCM
It's
area.
clear they're going to be a
And
data
again,
broker. is
Don't
what
have to
they're
go
gonna be
very
all
far
about.
to read the news
And that's the
to
future
hear
of the
terms
company.
like
Thank you, sir.
quiet
You were
quitting, or hear
awesome as
labor
always.
shortage,
And I'll tell you
or
what,
hear a variety of
if you're up
challenges
with this,
that we are
Brent and I will
all
work at a
facing
time
in
where we
many
can bring you on a
industries,
regular
in many
episode of
different
CRM
ways,
Playaz. You
gig
up for that?
economy.
Yeah, I mean,
to
again,
attract,
I'd almost prefer to actually be in a room
retain,
with you guys and
to
talk about this
compensate,
sometime, even with Zoom
and to
deal,
grow
other than
our
just
employee
sending
base
snarky
for
messages
better
in on
service
the-
to our
That's okay.
customers.
the
No,
chat.
you're on.
And we've
All right.
launched a
All right.
brand new
Thank
area,
you.
set of
Thank you
areas
much.
in Oracle Me,
All right.
my
Give it
experience,
back to
Just give me-
geared towards the employee. From boosters in recruiting, using artificial intelligence to help you recruit and attract, to ways that the employee can self-serve to have
You wanna?
more
I can step
gigs,
away from this one.
or kind of temporary assignments, or that's known as gigs, to other areas in HCM to allow better talent management so that you can coach your employees and help retain them, help them grow, to allow you to better retain your best talent. And again, these are just small examples,
All right, hold on.
quarter after quarter after quarter that's coming out.
Give me
from
1 second, and then we're ready to roll.
And in the CX area, or customer
Okay.
experience, what we're most focused on is really trying to automate the process of lead generation. So of course we have tremendous Salesforce automation, service, marketing tools. But if you keep with that theme,
Ready,
how
Kevin?
do we take small siloed processes and automate end to end?
All right.
Our big focus
Put it
is
up
on
rough
how do you, when you know you have a customer from your ERP system and you know they have certain products, you can market to
Hello there,
other
sir.
customers who are
Hi.
essentially
How are you, Kevin?
lookalikes.
Hey, you're doing well.
And not only can you market to
Why-
them,
before we
but you
get
have a
into
built-in
what I wanna
reference
ask you,
database.
Why don't you
So what we're
talk
doing
about
in
yourself
customer
a little bit,
experience
introduce yourself
is
to the
taking
people,
the tremendous
Kevin
assets we have in
Permenter,
terms of
where am I
email
looking?
marketing,
Camera
Yeah,
here?
don't
SMS
worry
marketing
about it. We don't care.
capabilities,
Kevin
AI
Permenter,
capabilities there to
Research
have it
Director
smart
at
for you to
IBC.
market, and
My
integrating
coverage
that in a
area
complete
is
end-to-end
financial
process to
applications.
give you better
So that's
leads
everything
and better
from, like,
lead
the small
generation,
business
and
accounting
again,
apps,
help you better service your
on
customers.
to the big financial suites like Oracle,
In addition to those
SAP,
solutions, we have a number of
then
areas
into the
that we're
point
investing on
solution
in
areas
to allow
accounts
you,
payable,
much like
accounts
Javier talked about at
receivable,
Heathrow,
tax,
become compliant
treasury,
either with
expense.
So
regulations
you
or
literally cover everything I
internal
don't completely
audits or
understand.
internal goals
It's
for
all the
investments
boring
for good.
accounting stuff.
No,
And many
that's
of these
actually
surface
so
around
important. No,
our
but I
analytic
really
capabilities
don't
through our
understand.
analytic data
My father
warehouse.
was an accountant.
Analytic data
and I
warehouse
still don't understand
integrated
it well.
tightly
Yeah,
with
well, neither
Fusion
do I took a lot of
and
classes.
assisting
I took a lot of
third-party
classes,
data.
and I'm
And
still
in each
struggling
of
with
the
it.
areas,
From what I hear,
analytics
you're damn good
specifically
at it.
geared
So all right,
not
so
only at
let's
measuring the
look
health
at
of
this.
your business,
Don't worry too
but
much
in
about the
supply
app
chain,
speak per se. We'll get to
tracking,
that.
reducing of
Talk
waste,
a little more
your
about
carbon
your,
footprint, and
given you've been
environmental
here, I guess
impact
you
of your
in
supply
and out
chain.
of the full.
In HCM
2-3
analytics,
days,
how your business
and,
is running, but
3
also
days.
importantly,
What's your
supporting
thinking on
the
where Oracle's
diversity
been
in
in,
recruiting,
let's say,
in
last
talent
time
management,
around,
in
2019, to
promotions,
now?
and in compensation.
What kind of,
And
what have you seen,
EPM
good and
analytics allow
bad,
you
in
to do the
terms of their
sophisticated
evolution?
So the
planning
good part, I
from
think
both a
they have
financial
a much more
standpoint as well
cohesive
as an
and
HCM standpoint. So
believable
brand new
and
capabilities in
sort
all
of
of those
robust
areas.
story around the
And in addition to that,
the
we're extremely
end-to-end
proud that
solution.
Oracle
The
ourselves
idea
are focused
that
on this
the new
with some key
OCI
metrics, with the goal
pairs
not
with
only of our company, but our
the
data
apps
centers, our OCI
platform,
infrastructure,
pairs with
so that all of
the
you can
actual
know
applications
that as
on the
customers of
platform.
Oracle,
All
our
of
plan
that
to be
stuff
100%
now is a
renewable
much
energy by
tighter story.
2025. You've
There's
heard about the good
more
that we've
heft to
done,
it in
the
terms
incredible
of
work, frankly, with the
investment. Millions of
V-Safe
dollars have
capability
gone into,
and
sort
CDC.
of,
And I just want
fleshing
to make
out
one
that
point because it's
story
particularly,
and having
I had
the end
I had
users
nothing to
really
do with our
be
progress
impacted
there,
by
but I was
that
quite
sort of
proud when you
end-to-end
heard
aspect.
Larry
So
say
Steve's up there
we
right
had a
now
lot of
just talking
successes.
about some
It's
of
important to
the
note he
use
wasn't
cases
talking about
around
we
that kind of
Oracle.
thing.
I mean, we Oracle was part of
I
that
think
we.
now,
He was talking
as
about
opposed to
we
2019, you
humans.
see a lot of it.
He was talking about
practice. A lot
pharmaceuticals,
of it is
government
here now.
agencies, people who did it every day,
And we
and
had some customer
increasingly
discussions,
our focus is
and
not only
they're
on our
starting
products,
to see
but
some
on
of the
that global
benefits of
good,
this,
and you see some
this sort of
examples there.
togetherness in
As
action.
one more example, and
Okay,
here's
well,
a
actually,
customer in
something you can
today's
help me
world, we
with
have
now
to
that I
have this
think of it.
hybrid, so they
So
won't be
when
on stage.
earlier-
But I'm going to have a
early
short
when
video
Steve began, he
talking
was
about
talking
what
about
they
with
do
JP Morgan.
from Nemours
And
Children's
JP
Hospital.
Morgan guy mentioned that they deal with 10 trillion transactions a year.
Yeah.
And I can't get my head around that at all. I literally have no way to conceptualize that I can understand in any fashion. How do you think about that level of transactional activity?
It is rarefied air, right? There are just not many organizations that have to deal with that level of activity. And just think about, there's that level of activity, but think of all the multi aspects underneath it. So multi-language, multi-currency, multi-country, right? Multi-entity. More than one entity in an organization may be doing some transactions. So when you start thinking about the complexity here, it really sort of narrows the race to, folks like Oracle, maybe 2 or 3 others that have the sort of heft.
Who else would you call the 2 or 3 others?
SAP has for a long time been involved in some really complex areas. And then you get into sort of the, on the HCM side, for example, Workday has long been part of some very complex, very meaty sort of environments. Those are sort of the players now that are sort of hovering around these sort of complex implementations. And those are typically, when you come down to it, three out of, like, you go down to your last 3, it's probably those names that you'll see most often.
That's amazing.
Unless you get into some of the, the specialty industries, then you see other names pop in because they have some in-depth, specialization.
I almost have to stop watching that video partway through. I don't think I can continue. I get a little choked up. But we want to do our small part in making caregivers spend time with their patients and eliminating what we do for them and automating. That's the bottom line.
Like that, right?
So this is the next part that I'm most proud of, and that, Frank, our team is most focused on. Oracle moving from a product company to a services company, and are committed to your success.
Yeah, how about that?
And we do that in many different ways. First off, we've extended our ecosystem,
really
and we've added roles that we never used to have before. So we have over 20,000 certified partners that have implemented and trained in implementing our products to help you every day. Within Oracle, however, we have a new set of roles to ensure you are successful. From throughout the life cycle, customer success management, during the implementation cycle, implementation support management, and then a variety of different levels of support directly from development. Our CRE program, our centers of excellence, people who are geared and product experts who are there to advise you not just how the product works, but on best practices and how you should implement. And included in that is a well-defined process, both delivered through our consulting organization as well as our partners, so that we give you the best chance of success, and you spend the least amount of time and the least amount of money getting the benefits that you've heard from some of our customers to get you to succeed. In addition to that, we've really transformed and worked with many of you digitally through our Customer Connect. So Customer Connect is an online collaborative community of now almost 350,000 members. Every one of you that are customers, any one of your users can join Customer Connect. And they would be in a community with our development team, our product managers, our system implementer partners, and pretty much every other customer in the world. And what do we do there? It's a discussion forum. People pose questions. People have ideas. People brag a little bit. Hey, we implemented this process, and here's what we achieved. People give feedback and input, and people give us direct feedback to our development staff. We have a section in the forum called Ideas, which is really for all of you. Tell us what you need. What is the idea? How can we make you more successful? And those hundreds of features I talked about that we deliver every quarter, 80+% of those come directly from Customer Connect, from ideas from customers. Customer logs it, our product manager responds, a system implementer partner says, no, we want it this way. Another customer chimes in, what about this? And collaboratively with this community, we get great ideas, and all of you get it every quarter. As an example of that, my last customer, my favorite customer, let me welcome on stage, this time as a customer, not as a partner, Janine Carlucci. Janine is the head of digital and service experience at JP Morgan Chase Bank. Welcome, Janine.
Certain specific use cases. So it's a difficult story for them to tell. They've been getting better over time, but I do think ultimately they have to tell that story and they have to lead. And this is me being,
Should we just skip the script, or
I think they have to lead.
I'm the favorite. Exactly. Oh, sorry. I didn't know the customers were here. She's one of my favorites.
One of their historic.
Janine, everyone knows JP Morgan, but what you do
Let's put it this
and
way. What's
the roles
what's
you play and
the
responsibilities
job
you
everyone
have.
wanted in the
Can you
90s?
give them the audience some stats and your role within JP Morgan Chase?
I mean,
Sure.
I
Sure,
ran
would
an
love to.
Oracle.
So
well, I
thanks so
ran a
much, Steve, for
company. I ran
having
a
us. It was great to
series
follow
of
Takis.
practices,
I mean,
right,
so proud
which
to
one
obviously
of them
work
was
at this company when you think about
150
what we're
Oracle
doing in so many
DBA,
ways.
right,
But
right?
my
And
role
believe me,
is to
we were
treat our
back then.
employees
We
as
weren't paying
customers.
anywhere near
So
what a
think
DBA
about
would
the
make now, but
300,000
it was
people
still paying
across the
pretty
70
well.
countries
And it was a
that
job
we service
that
every
you
single
went
day.
to
My job
PeopleSoft
is to make
ERP.
sure that
We
whether
still
they're coming
needed those
into the
Oracle
company
DBAs.
and we're
So to your
recruiting the
point,
talent
down
all the
and
way through
dirty,
to when they
right at the
retire,
Yeah.
we
right at
actually
the
have to
level
make
of
that
the ground.
experience
Yeah.
and those interactions
Yeah.
as
And then-
simple
and
and
what you get
seamless as
there
possible.
is that
300,000,
these
70
higher
countries,
level
and that's
concepts
understating
like
it.
resiliency
Heavily regulated,
and agility,
everything from
that's what it starts.
Yeah.
very,
Take it
very,
from a guy with a
very
bad knee. It's all about your foundation.
back office people,
right?
people who are doing heavy
it's all about your
analytics, people who
footwork.
work
You can't
in the
throw
banks,
ball,
everything.
you
So
know,
So
accurately
all roles,
if
whether
you don't
you're a
have
banker
your
who's out
foundation
there
together,
on the
right?
road and
All
road
together.
warring
So,
for
you know,
M&A
it's a similar
deals, all
sort
the
of
way through to a
thing. It's
teller
where the
who's
rubber
making sure
meets the
that
road is
we make
where
sure our consumer
they have
businesses
to
continue to
show
run,
all the
ops, call
investment that
centers,
they've done.
every single
I've been talking to some
technologist
of the product
that are running
leadership.
through the
They've
organization.
done
So we're definitely
massive
spreading the
amounts of
gamut of
investment
just about
in
every
that sort of
role
core accounting
that we can
space.
find.
So I mentioned some of the buzzwords that you hear in the press, right? In
I got one last
whether it's war
question.
for talent, or whether it's recruiting challenges, or labor shortage, quitting, I can't keep up with all of them. How is JP Morgan Chase and how
Who
are
are
your
they? Why
organization
they?
navigating?
Again, they don't
What
have
are
to be
you,
the
what are
only
you?
ones. I don't
Sure.
want to like
So
diminish the rest of them.
We're,
But one or
we're-
two, you just
when you think
you're
about
really happy
how
when you see
JP
them.
Morgan
Yeah,
Chase's overall is doing work, we're
Kim
constantly
Jacobson,
innovating, no
okay.
matter
She's
what's
our
going
AR
on. So we're
person.
going to
Okay.
get hit with any
And,
type of event,
and
whether
why?
it's a hurricane
What
one
is
yeah.
day,
So
macroeconomic
she's really good at
crisis
her job.
in the
That's first.
Ukraine, all the way
But she's
through
also
to just a
one of
big
the
event that we want to actually
people
sponsor
that
for
is
bringing
so
and delivering
positive
better services to our
about
customers. So innovation is, I would
sort
say, one of the things that we're
her
constantly
company.
stepping back and
She's
staring at, no
excited
matter
about her
what type of
product and where
environment
they're
we're in.
going with
I would
it.
say specifically
So
in the HR
in my
function,
mind,
we're really trying hard
she's a great
now that we
ambassador
have
for
a
it.
platform
So not
to
only does
work
she
off of,
do a good
to
job
really treat
herding
these
the
employees
cats,
like customers
you
and
know,
make
when
sure
it
that
comes
we
to
are very
endless
focused
relations,
on
right?
how do we
But
But she
bring
actually,
the power of the
sort of,
brand
strongly
to the
believes in the
employee at
direction
JP
of the
Morgan
company.
Chase at
Yes,
every
more.
point that we
One
can
more.
and at every
So
interaction.
I've had a
And
chance
when you started
to-
the journey
to
with us,
speak
and we
Steve
started the journey
Miranda,
together, what were the things
and I
about
find
Oracle?
that,
What did you have in mind at the time?
he's
Why Oracle
very
at that
sort
point in
of,
time? And then maybe you get into also,
relatable.
Yes.
because we maybe glossed over
He's
it,
somebody
the
that
different
can
stages that we've
take a
gone through
very
so far.
complex,
So
some
this journey
topics
for us
and-
started,
and
I think, in
break them down
2016
and
or
show you,
2015.
how Oracle
We
is,
were
sort of
working
positioned
very closely with
in
our
some
head of
these
HR, Robin
very
Leopold,
intricate
very
areas.
closely with our
I think he's
CIO,
one of
Lori
the best,
Beer. Spent a
sort
lot
of
of time
product
with
leaders,
Steve and
in the
Chris
game right
and
now.
I
Laura
absolutely
and so
agree
many
with you on
folks
that. I
that
don't
you
know Kim
probably all know
Jacobson,
so
but
well.
we have our
We
for
took
the
a real step
independent
back and
we
has
said,
her own
we had
how
a
do
different
we
Kim.
kind of
Yeah,
really
yeah.
take 60 different
Kim
platforms
Gian, who
and
we've
bring them down
already
to one,
sat and praised.
Yeah.
which was
Now,
an
honorable
interesting
mention,
thing to do when you think
Rondi-
about how
Rondi
global we
Ng,
are and the nature of the way we have to run in local
because,
markets. And then how do we
Rondi
actually
has
step back and really look at the
job
power of the
of,
data and what
sort
can
of,
we do to get to a more
sitting
common
on
data
top
model
of,
and data structure.
the
And
massive,
as we were doing that,
application
we
space,
thought about the pace that
or
Oracle was
ERP
working at on
space,
innovating their
and
software.
sort
far was outpacing the rest of the
shaping
market.
and molding the
And that really
ecosystem
helped us make a
and
very
the
clear
product
decision,
direction for
as
ERP.
well as the fact that
And
we
I
were very
really feel
focused
that
on cyber
ERP itself
and data protection
for
and making sure the
Oracle
security of
has
the
been an
platform, since
engine
we were going from
for
on-prem to
innovation.
public,
Yeah, absolutely.
was really going to
growth.
be
Yes.
stable and solid.
And
And
Cloud
clearly
ERP
that was
is really
a
pushing
strong
the whole,
And to give people an idea of scope, so scope beyond the
honorable
300,000
mention for
people
Rondi.
and the 70
Thank you,
plus
sir.
countries.
You're,
You've now
I
gone
mean,
live,
look, I'm
and
just
I got to read
meeting
this
you,
to make sure I
really.
don't miss
So
it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I
For
met you
HR,
briefly once, but
recruiting,
you're a
payroll,
good man.
time and
Yeah,
absence,
and look,
talent
I'm
management,
also
and
relatable.
learning. And in a couple months, we
also a
just talked
Cowboy
about
fan.
incentive
Well,
comp.
that's, I'm
So
sorry
60
for it. I mean, I'm
platforms
Yeah,
across
it's-
that
it's
scope
been
across
rough.
that many people.
Well, no, you were.
What are some of the
you're not
benefits that
bad.
you're
He
seeing so
was
far?
Cooper,
So-
Rush, well, he's not
the fact that we can start with a common
Give it to 'em.
data model, I think is one immediate benefit. So
sort of,
you saw a little bit on
getting
analytics and
a
how do we
lot
power
of my
diversity
patience
differently, or
from
how do we
being a
actually
Dallas
think
Cowboy.
differently about the way we're going to
Well, it's
service
been
our
about 20
employees
years.
I'm a
inside
New
the
York Giants
organization and
fan.
reduce the amount of
I
touches.
mean, we won. Look, we
This
did win a couple
platform,
of Super Bowls
what the
not
war for
that long ago.
talent, you know,
It's still a
the
decade.
ability to
But
create great career
we have been the
experiences. One
worst
of the
team
things
in
that
the
JP
NFL
Morgan
until this
does
year.
really well
Hey,
is whether
last
you're in a
5
different
years.
geography,
Now,
been here
This
for 30
is-
years, been here for 2
We,
months.
you know, it's funny.
We actually really
beginning
try to
of the
make sure
year,
your
Yeah.
career is
when,
really at the center of everything we're
when
doing. And
the-
this
the
gives us the
regime is
ability
turned
to put the
over,
right talent, with the right
all
skills
of
in the
us,
right chairs as they're
I
coming
mean, I
in the
talked to
door,
lots of
but
Giants
also
fans,
really
and
drive us
all of us
into
thought this
how do we
may
win
be good.
the war for
We didn't
talent
think the
and,
Giants would
you know,
be
this
5
new great
and 1.
resignation. How do we
5-1.
keep our people
And
retained
not only
in the
that, they're
company
beating good
for the
teams.
future? So a
Saquon
lot
Barkley
of
still
power
has his
sitting
legs.
behind
That's why I
kind of
like it.
us
the most.
implementing
I
the
love
entire
that guy.
suite.
He still
in
got
its
his
entirety.
legs
And he's
moving.
a class act
Now
kid.
we've done
Not in
some
the
tactical
past?
things
No.
together. A lot of we've
I
done
mean,
some
he's
strategic.
good.
What are some of the things that come to mind
Listen,
on the innovation
listen, on my
through the
fantasy
platform
team,
that we've worked on
This
together
week
and you've really
7,
helped us with?
trying to
You know,
win.
one of the
Saquon,
things
if
that
you're
made
listening,
Steve, you know, yourself and
222
Chris and
yards.
others so
222 yards, 2
close to us
touchdowns.
is the
Sounds about
power
right.
of the
Okay, we're
cultures being so
okay.
similar.
I will
And I think
transmit
the
the message.
concept of the
One of my
partnership
good
that
friends
we've
is
been
a
able to
VP
cultivate. So
Uh-huh.
we designed
of,
together. So when I
this
think
is
about
Couch
ORC,
Analytics
where
for the New
ORC
York Times.
started, and I
Yeah.
think
So
about
I will
the
tell
amount
him,
of
do
discussions
the
that
work,
many folks in the
and
room probably
guarantee
are going to
Saquon
benefit
Jordan. You're
from.
doing business
200
intelligence
different
and
changes
analytics.
that we
Okay,
made as we
do the
sat through
analytics.
oodles
Tell
of design
Saquon his game
sessions and
plan.
really
Let him
listening
run.
to whether it was recruiters and what
Awesome.
they needed,
Hey,
All right,
I
candidates
but
as
had
they were
fun.
coming
I'm a
into
hugger, so you
the
got
power
if
of
you
hybrid
bring
and
it,
decommissioning Taleo. Like there was a lot
Good
that sat
luck.
underneath there
Luck with your
that
Yankees
we've been
tonight.
doing
Yeah,
together.
well,
That's
let me
one
show you
of
this
the,
right
yeah.
now.
I
Oh,
do
no.
think whether
Oh,
it's
no.
Well, they
learning,
just scored.
whether it's, you know, different
Yankees
things
just
that we're
scored.
now going to start
Oh,
doing
wow.
on
What's
how
the
we're
score?
thinking
1-0
through
Yankees.
all the
It's only
data and the
There we
way
go.
we can actually
One-
use
one
data
nothing.
differently.
I
I just think
tell
it's
you,
an
Lot of
you
fun.
are good
amazing
luck,
culture
man.
that
Oh,
we
yeah.
have together.
Yeah, in fact,
And the one thing
Oh,
I would
yeah.
say is the quarterly
I was going to
release
say,
calendar
just sit until the
forces
game's
companies
over.
to have to think totally differently now.
I'm not
Yankees
that
are up
good a lot.
1-0.
And when you have a partner like
Yeah, that's exactly what
like
happened.
you, and by
Oh,
the way, I just want to say
Harrison
this: when
Bader,
things
you know
go
that new
wrong,
guy? He hit
we
his
call
4th
Steve
home
and
run in the
Chris,
playoffs.
and I just want to say that
I
out
love
loud
this
because
guy.
What's
they were
is
with us
Stanton
every
playing?
step of the way
Yeah,
on the
he
journey. They
walloped
built
one
the
yesterday.
relationship with us. They
Guardian.
built
He's
the
awesome.
designs with us. They've
Thank you,
tested with
sir.
us.
All
Even
right.
if we're in, you know, having some
Time for me to
challenges,
swap
they're
out.
with us every step of the way. So I do think it's really important
Okay.
to pick a partner
Mr. Reed.
that actually is willing to kind of design
Yes,
with
sir.
you for the future and really think about how you can make your employees be your
Right, you
customers.
ready
I think,
for the
at your
you wanna-
organization.
Which one?
Yeah, if I didn't know
This
you were
is-
on
this is
stage,
the
I
one
wouldn't have
that-
left my phone down there because I'd be nervous you might call. So,
Yeah, it's true.
and by the way, if ORC that you mentioned is Oracle Recruiting Cloud, if anyone wants to
Brett, you
see
need
Oracle
some,
Recruiting Cloud,
You need some
it's
coaching
live.
tips.
You can
with,
see it. Go to
interview
JP Morgan
this guy.
Chase
You want some,
website, search for jobs.
you want
Please
some
do not apply for jobs
material
unless you want a
to
job.
hit
But
the
if you want to see what recruiting looks like,
The worst thing is
live,
the Dr.
there
Pepper
it is.
doesn't
It's
even
up and
work on
running.
me.
We have a great
They don't
company.
even
We
have
have
Dr.
great jobs. I
That's a-
highly
it's a
recommend
negative,
you all go
right?
out
No
there
Dr.
right now
Pepper.
and
Yeah,
apply
Dr. Pepper, you
for
just
one
knock
of our
Brian down,
positions
but
that
you
is
can't calm me down.
across the.
I'm gonna get in big trouble. Okay,
Really,
so what's next? Do you see for JP Morgan and our
just
journey
have a
together?
couple of those handy
What
and he'll
what are
show
goals
right out,
and
man.
you know
So,
where would you guide us to help you
the
more?
smart vendors have like 6
I
packs
think,
ready. 'cause they
you know,
don't wanna deal with
we
this
already do
crap.
so much together. So I think this concept of
This is
continuing
the
to
kind of
listen
stuff you
to
get on the road,
the
man. You
employees,
Oh,
the
he just showed me
managers,
the slide
really
deck.
be able to get our HR advisors to be powerful,
Oh,
you
he
know,
showed you the deck.
consumers of the
show
information
me
that's
the
sitting
deck.
underneath here. But most importantly, really just bringing the power of the experience
I'm gonna
to
wear
bear.
bifocal.
And I think once you get to the common
got some
integrated
tries in
platform,
there?
we now have an opportunity. Like the cloud is behind us,
So,
which is
Brett, make
fantastic.
sure
We have an
you ask
opportunity
me
now to
questions
shift
and
into
I'll make
our new joiner
Atomic
experience, our
leadership.
talent and career
Atomic
development experience,
Get that
our
in there.
service experience, and how do we want to make sure employees feel like the
Okay.
value that they would come to the brand of JP Morgan Chase lives each day you have. So clearly, we want to keep
You got the
designing with
mic
you. We
on?
want to keep staying
No,
connected
what
to
do you
you.
want
We
me
want
to
to
Where
keep
is the
innovating.
mic? There it is.
That's for sure.
There you go.
And let me give all of you a tip for running a project successfully
Yeah,
at
it's
this
still-
scale. And just a
I think they're
credit.
coming
So
up into the
Janine,
home
and she mentioned
stretch here.
Robin, the CHRO. They are
58
on
minutes in.
every
Yeah.
steerco meeting.
Sound
Every
about right.
steerco meeting.
Yeah,
So
you're
these are
good.
people responsible for
You're good.
300,000
All right.
people globally, and they are on time and ready to
The
go.
man
and read
is
the
here.
slides. So believe me, when
The
I joined that meeting,
notorious-
I am prepared,
What do we
I am
used
on
to call
time, and I
you?
don't think I've
Bad
ever
boy
beaten Robin
The
to
bad
join
boy
the
ERP,
meeting.
but didn't
So
he do some
somehow
really
CHRO,
crazy
but the
Brohammer.
importance of this project it and driving it.
That's my
Really, it's just
it.
incredible. And,
Yeah.
you guys
Mr.
earn your success by doing it that way.
John
Well, thank
Reed,
you. Look, I would
co-founder
say
of
this, top down
Economica,
matters.
the
And
bad
a
boy of
company like JP Morgan Chase, where
whatever.
Robin
Are we
Lee's
live?
obviously is
We're
phenomenal.
live, man.
But the
Oh, man,
operating
this-
committee of JP
live
Morgan
without
Chase
a
has
net.
really put
This is
the power to invest.
streaming.
They're investing
We're
in
on
their employees, and
StreamYard,
I think that's
and
just
then we're on
something
the
that
side
makes the
here.
company
That's what
just
the
as
people are
wonderful as
seeing.
it is, but
And
also
then,
makes
that's
us
just
have
recording.
an ability to
And
All right.
win in the
we're-
market.
don't look up there because
Fantastic.
it's
Thanks,
a little
Shanice.
lag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks, yeah.
pleasure. Nice to see
See,
you.
he's already like, all right, dude, give me
What do you
your
wanna talk
impressions,
about?
man. Give me your impressions of what you've seen so far during this conference.
Okay,
Well,
see, I
so-
told you, it's just like a pre-party. Every
Whirlpool is
pre-party you've
really
ever been
going
to,
all
you
out
talk
to
about
try to
ERP
create,
and HCM and CX, right?
sort of a customer-focused
Every
view
party I
of
go to, that's what
cloud
we talk
in the
about.
large enterprise. So
Might
they
be
are
my
slamming us
flaw.
with customer
Okay,
examples left
what
and
do we
right.
talk about? Fusion
Safracat's
applications.
keynote that opened the conference.
Yep.
Was
Bold
just
new
a parade
B2B
of friggin'
commerce.
customers across
Fully
industries and stuff.
automate
Yep.
And
banking,
for those who watch Oracle,
logistics,
they've
on through
never
your
done a
ERP.
keynote
And
like that,
again,
ever.
that's just the
Ever.
beginning.
Whether you
And
like
those
the
are our
keynote or
first
not,
partners. We're
we
going to
never did it
extend more, and
before.
we're looking for
there
your
wasn't
feedback
really
on how
even
to
much
fully
Oracle
automate
branding in
end
that
to end.
keynote as far as like the usual.
With the applications you have,
It was very
you have
relaxed,
everything you need,
conversational.
full suite,
And what they're trying to
based
get
on the
across
top
is that they've reached
technology
critical
that's
mass
always updating,
of customers in
and
the
now
cloud
a brand new
running cloud
application platform
applications.
for you
And
to
they're also
extend that
tying in
last
their
mile
Oracle Cloud
and for you
infrastructure
to
story
develop
because Oracle
just
is
like
very
we develop.
conscious of
Innovation that
providing their
matters.
customers an infrastructure choice and
From
connecting the dots there.
Yep.
Focusing
And
on
that's
diversity
actually really
and inclusion,
important because
focusing on carbon
this didn't
footprint
get a
and
lot of discussion at the
analytics,
conference, but there
having
are a lot of
global
Oracle
impact,
customers on
but
older
also
releases.
strategic
Oh, yeah.
solutions,
And those folks aren't necessarily
healthcare,
going to move to Fusion
in employee
tomorrow.
retention,
So
in marketing,
Oracle
sales,
Cloud
and
Infrastructure
service.
OCI
And our
is
commitment to
emerging
your
as an option where they
success.
can start looking at some
And what
cloud
we are most
services,
proud
start
of in
looking
our
at
organization
modernization
is our
without
focus
looking at
on
the
you,
whole
our
friggin' thing.
customers.
Yeah.
So that
And I
becomes
just thank you
important.
for
So
all
what
your
Oracle's
attention
trying to do
today.
is just
Thank
tell
you
a
for coming
story
out.
of how
Enjoy the party and the concert
how
tonight.
they've
and I
been
hope to
able
see
to
you
serve
soon. Thank you
customers
very
at a
much.
scale that you just don't see in large enterprise ERP. You see it in the mid-market. There's a lot of exciting ERP cloud companies in mid-market.
Mhm.
You don't see as much in large enterprise. They're trying to tell a story. So when they go on stage today, like in Steve Miranda's keynote just now,
Yeah.
they were talking over, and they talk about things like the payment service connectors with JP Morgan
Right.
and the logistical connectors with FedEx. They're talking about doing things with ERP that historically you couldn't do. And I know because I'm Johnny ERP. So like if anyone knows, it's me. In the past, you couldn't do that stuff.
Right.
And now you can, and that's the case they're trying to make is we can do that stuff. But by the way, we're not the sort of the mean bully that we used to be. They're trying to change their image around customer centricity, which is a big change for them, the way they've been perceived in the market.
Absolutely. You know what? This ended, so we're getting rid of this guy. And we're
Okay.
going to the full screen, and
All right.
we're getting rid of the music. All right, there we go.
All right.
So now we're just talking. It's just us.
You
All
and
right.
me, post game.
We made it to the end, man.
We did it, man. We did it. We done it.
All right. So what did you like the new approach?
I do. I
Okay.
do like the new approach. I think there's a lot of sincerity behind it on the part of Oracle leadership. I've talked a lot with Steve Miranda in particular about what they're trying to do with this. But the thing that everyone has to understand, including Oracle, is that there's a long journey ahead, and you don't change those kinds of things overnight. There's reasons why those perceptions came to pass. But part of what you're trying to do now is just help companies understand that there's so much more to build a business case around cloud, because there's a lot of disillusionment building up around the cost of cloud, and that it's not some magic potion that you just lift everything there and everything is great.
Yeah.
And so what Oracle's trying to do is say, well, take another look here, because this is not just moving applications around. This is about like changing the user experience. This is about partners building apps on your platform. This is all this stuff.
Yeah.
So one thing that might interest your viewers, I don't know, is I had some very frank talks with Oracle around the future of CX.
Okay.
And so this is another piece of the puzzle as far as like an Oracle that's willing to be more transparent around challenge that they're facing, because historically I wasn't able to get Oracle talking about that stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's an important story because there was a lot of sensational reporting in the summer.
Oh, when
I'm
they
sure
when
you
they had the
saw that.
layoffs and yeah, sure.
Yep. And it caused some people to think, well, Oracle's just jumping ship on CX.
That
sounds
was
familiar.
that was like the knee jerk
That was.
reaction, right?
And a lot
Because-
of us knew people who were affected.
Yeah, of course. And it seemed like CX advertising took the biggest hit.
Right.
So of course when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, oh, it feels like maybe they're shifting away,
Right.
de-emphasizing. But it sounds like that's what one of the things you were asking about.
I really wanted to understand it better, and I mean, I don't want to do like too much of a shameless plug for Diginomica, but one of the things we're trying to do is to help our audience like understand the context behind these things, because there's such a temptation to freak out about them, like
The knee jerk.
It is,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of page views to be had when you can say, oh my God, Oracle's killed CX, and let's get some page views. And our business is full of that right now. And look, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that everything is hunky-dory and wonderful, because a lot of people were impacted by that.
Yeah.
And these things are hard. And the thing that I think we should all accept is that we're not in a real happy economy right now, and a lot of vendors are making difficult choices.
I think this week, at least a couple of them.
Yep, there was another Microsoft headline
Yeah.
about 1,000 people.
Salesforce let some folks go. Yeah.
So this stuff's not easy, but I think the thing to understand about what Oracle is doing here is that, and I talked to one customer in depth about this. The Red Bull Formula One CMO was here,
Right.
and they're fully on the CX stack. And so I thought, oh, this is a good guy to ask about the future of CX, because he's like all in, and he's all enthused. He's talking about being an early adopter. They've been so one of the things Oracle is doing in CX is they're investing a lot in sort of next gen stuff. So they had some customer data platform news at this show. They're not backing away from that. They're investing in this. They have this crowd twist fan engagement thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The Formula One Red Bull guy's
Yeah.
all excited about.
Right.
He's like, this is like changing how we relate to work. So Oracle's investing in CX in a couple ways. I think they're trying to invest in cutting edge stuff. They're trying to invest in data backbone. And this all ties into what they talk about a lot, which is this end-to-end process enterprise. They want to connect the front end to the back end.
Right.
And I think that's a really good argument for CX as far as like, well, I mean, you've probably been there. We've all been there where CX is great until our package has not arrived that we were going to give to our mom for Mother's Day that night. And
Right.
It's not there. And where is it? And we don't know. And the customer service people don't know. And you're like, wow, there's actually so much that we can't see that historically has been lost in silos and stuff. And Oracle wants to sort of connect those dots. So I see Oracle as not so much abandoning CX, but looking more at what do their customers need most around that to connect the dots, so to speak. Now, I think where I think the questions remain, and where I had a little bit, and I published a piece on this today, so if anyone wants to see more of the quotes on that, they can. But I think like the thing that I don't know exactly, because this is where Oracle is a little more cautious, is around best of breed stuff. So in other words, like going up against Salesforce or Adobe, chasing customers on CX that are not Oracle customers.
Right.
How will that go in the future? That part I don't know so much, but as far as customers who are invested in Oracle's products, it doesn't look like there's like any kind of really tough times ahead for them, because it looks like Oracle is definitely like not backing down from that. But I do think there's a little bit of a difference. I make a distinction in my mind between serving your customers versus going out and trying to win customers. And we see this all over the place, like where software vendors will roll out functionality, but you think, well, maybe that wouldn't stack up against what you would sign, like customer that had none of your other products. Maybe they wouldn't like that product. Or Oracle's a little reluctant to say, and I understand why, they don't want to back down from that. But I feel like what I can say is they're really refocusing on what their customers need, the customers that are already invested in them. So that's the impression that I'm getting.
Is that, I mean, you go to a lot of events, is you deal with a lot of the big enterprise. Is that a theme that a lot of these bigger companies are doing, kind of trying to get as much of the business from their current customers and provide them with more and more, as opposed to, spending a lot of their efforts trying to bring on new customers?
It's a good question. I mean, I think every vendor wants to sign like net new companies that have high growth potential, because it's great to grow with a company and see it become like a big ass company and it was on your product. And so that kind of stuff is cool. But there's definitely, I think, a lot of, what vendors call land and expand strategies where, hey, they like this, let's go sell them some more of that.
Right.
Now, I had a talk with a vendor about this the other day, because they were talking about this. They wanted to publish an article around it. And I said, well, customers don't really like the term land and expand. They feel kind of being invaded. It's got almost like a militaristic feel. It's like, wait, like you set up boot camp in my procurement department, and now we're issuing purchase orders all the time. So I think from a customer standpoint, I look at it more like that what you want enterprise software to be like is software that you like to use, that you enjoy using, that helps you to do your job better, that isn't just something that is so difficult to deal with. And if you like it, and then the vendor wants to give you more of that, then I think that is fair game, and that's your job, is to earn your customers' trust and respect. The only thing I would add to that is that I think it is really important to acknowledge that partners have to play a role in that. And that was one of the big announcements at this conference, was around Oracle opening up its apps platform and its Redwood UI interface, because the idea is partners want to build stuff. And a lot of times, let's be honest, some of the partners out there have better ideas for like niche things than the vendor does, because they know that particular
That's where they
area.
live.
Right. So they want to build some cool stuff, but they want it to look like everything else. They don't want it to look like some, abandoned orphan of the, they want it to look like the rest of the everything else. So that's kind of what Oracle's trying to do. So the only thing I would say that I think is a little bit different is that, like, now we think about it more like we want our customer to choose our platform, not necessarily all of our software.
Right.
But we want them to say, you know what, in Oracle's case, Oracle's our go-to platform. So we might plug in different pieces sometimes. And by the way, Oracle better play nice with the stuff.
All the things that we depend on.
Right. And partners can build and we can build. But I think that's kind of like the new sort of ideal for the enterprise. But there's still too much lock-in in our world. It's still too hard for customers to move from one product to another. But what can we do about that at what, 5 o'clock on a Thursday when we're both
after 3 days
needing some sleep and a lot of caffeine to keep going? We can't really fix that today.
So one last thing, you have been chronicling the hybrid kind of conference. So we're getting close to the end of the year, right? I mean, I don't know how many more you have to do, but how would you grade the industry, generally speaking, this year?
Okay, so I would say up until this fall event season, I would say F.
Wow.
And I think I'm an advocate for radical inclusion of events, because I believe that a lot of people that can't get to events for whatever reason should be included and are part of who a vendor would want to reach. So I evaluate hybrid in that capacity. Like, if I'm not at the event, can I properly engage with the event? This fall, I saw a big marked improvement in the commitment of vendors to making that happen. I mean, right now in the background, we have Oracle TV on. A lot of that stuff is accessible, like not only on Oracle's platform, but streaming in various places.
Right.
And that's a really nice way of starting to make it possible. And you even have like studio hosts, and we were talking, we were sort of grading them earlier. I'm not going to do that now, but the point is, like, it's great that they're giving it that real go, because there's this, like, vendors have been so afraid that, like, oh my God, if we put on a show like this, people won't come. But I think that's wrong, because I think the people that are willing to put up with air travel and possibilities of COVID or whatever, the people that are willing to come, they're going to come because they want to. I came because I want to hang out with you. I can't do that at home.
Right.
That to me, this is gold. Like, so
well, that's the sentiment I hear most. People are just glad to be back.
Right.
To be, doing this in person.
Right. But let's be honest, Brett, you're not going to go to every event you get an invite for. But wouldn't you like to sort of keep a little better track of what's going on? You would. And where, so I'll give vendors a C- now. And why a C-? Well, part of it is they're still figuring out how to do the Oracle TV or the Salesforce TV, whatever it is. But a big part of it is that they haven't figured out how to engage the people that really want to interact and not just passively consume content. And I came to understand that that's only a smaller percentage of people. So a lot of people sitting at home, they don't have the time or interest in like an interactive experience. They just want to catch a little bit of Keynote fodder. But then there are people that are really bummed not to be here that would love to have the chance to interact, to ask questions at a press conference, to be part of a customer roundtable discussion. And what my argument to vendors is, like, let's make that possible. Like it's going to take a little work, but we can baby step our way there. But by the way, you can charge for that. And if you don't charge for that, you can certainly get some friggin' awesome lead generation out of it. Because a lot of people that want to watch your keynotes are never going to be leads. And so putting your keynotes behind registration walls and stuff is asking for technical problems and stuff, which I've seen. But if you want to engage in that hybrid experience and talk with product managers and while you're offsite and like have interactions with people at the show, that's lead gen type of person. Those are people who are really invested in your product.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the missing piece from hybrid right now. It's all about passive broadcast consumption. But I got to give vendors much better grade now because it's way the hell better than it has been. So I don't want to discourage them, but there's still work ahead, but they've made some progress.
So that's good. That's pretty good improvement from pre-fall to where we are now.
It is. I mean, if you go into the Oracle event log and you can toggle like between you can see which events are live streaming. Some of these setups will show you which ones are available for replay after.
Okay.
There's way more opportunities to package this content up afterwards.
Yeah.
And you're someone who's a pro at that. They should honestly talk with you about this and get your input because you're someone who you acquire all this video content and then your job is to figure out, well, how do we get this out there because we have this archive? Can I create highlight reels? Can I edit down some clips? How do I do that? Like that's the other part they have to figure out.
And the good thing about it is this stuff, for the most part, the conference is over tomorrow, but the content can live on.
Right.
And like you said, make it accessible to broad audiences, not just, use it as the traditional lead gen, but, open it up.
Absolutely. I think we can have the best of both worlds, but I think we still have to get over some fears that, look, it's like there's not a bunch of fence sitters. It's a little bit like American politics. There's not very many people that are just, I'll go either way. People have kind of picked sides.
Yeah.
And the same thing is true with events. Like, if they want to get on a plane, they're friggin' going to get on a plane. And if they don't, they're going to be left out. So why wouldn't you want to include them for whatever reason they can't be there? There's this idea, I think, in people's heads also that, like, well, if they didn't make it to my event, they're not a blue chip, they're not an A-list type of customer person. That's just not right. Life is life.
Some things happen.
Sometimes life is life. Budgets, health,
right?
Location,
right? Or life, like you said, it's just life.
It is.
But the cool thing is, don't let life get in the way of them viewing and having an experience of the content that gets created. Even if it is created at a conference, maybe the conference ends, but the content doesn't have to, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. This is cool, man.
Great to shoot the shit.
Absolutely. Awesome. Good to see you, man. And I guess we'll
hi to the virtual peeps.
Yeah, that's right. We'll actually, I guess I better bring in Mr. Greenberg so we can do the traditional.
Do the wrap. All right, man. Enjoyed it.
Get the mic first.
Oh yeah, I guess I got to get rid of it.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to have any, Mr. Greenberg, we're ready to sign off. All righty. All right, so it's over. The keynote is over.
Oh, I saw that.
So we're ready to wrap it up.
How did this happen? We're on opposite sides. How did that happen?
You'll have to watch the full hour and 18 minutes to find out.
That's right. Wait till the end. It's like a TikTok video.
By the way,
till the end.
Yankees update?
1-1.
Ooh,
they tied it.
So I know we're going to make this quick.
I need to have Kevin come back.
Oh, that's where
so we can win.
Anyway, quick last thoughts for the day.
Well, I mean, again, I guess if I'm really viewing it without my, let's say, favorite takeaways that we've talked about multiple times on, eyebrows and cake. Ultimately, what really impressed me overall with the conference is that Oracle has both solidified and extended their platform and ecosystems perspective in a way that it's no longer fragmentary, which it used to be with ecosystem. It's now that they're thinking not just in terms of strategic industry kind of specific ecosystem, but their overall end-to-end ecosystem. And that's become an absolute deep part of their thinking, practice, and execution.
I also like that encompassed in that is the design experience and creating this ability for their partners to not only build their own apps and integrate with Oracle apps, but to do so with the design and the user interface that allows them to create apps that'll look like the Oracle apps that people are using.
And once again, kudos to our friends.
That's right.
Hillel Cooperman, Jenny Lamb, and the team.
The dynamic duo of design.
Yep, two of the best.
All right. This trip to Vegas was good.
Yeah, all in all, it was probably, if I have to be specific, maybe my favorite trip of the year so far.
Yeah,
might be there.
I tell you what, we actually had our own studio for.
Yeah. I was hoping they would pack at the end of the show, they pack it up and accidentally ship it to one of our houses.
Oh, it was beautiful.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys help us make Playaz Productions Network successful, we can have one of those.
And we would like to officially announce the first ever Playaz. What do they do that on PBS? The fundraising thing.
Oh, that's right.
The telethon.
The telethon. The first annual Playaz telethon. We'll have the phones will be manned, and you can phone in your donation.
Yeah, we take Venmo, by the way. Just
Right.
to let you know. All right. Good trip. Ready to end it. Ready to go home. You'll be on the road again next week. I'll be home next week.
Amen.
And then eventually we'll be back together November 9th to the 11th,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Sugar
in,
CRM analyst event.
At San Jose Resort, which remains unnamed at this moment.
A resort to be named later.
That's
All
right.
right. Well, I know what my name is right now. I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Playaz. We'll see you next time, whenever that is. If I can only hit the in broadcast button. There it is.